So this is level 1 of Warlocks. Welcome, by the way. Probably should have started with that. But we're in the thick of things now, and there's no time for do-overs. A meteor has just fallen, and we are going to bombard them with spells. I'm playing as Alyssa, the Ice Queen. I'll give you a full rundown of exactly what I'm doing later, which I actually already recorded. I recorded things out of order, so past Foehamner will show you what's going on. This is basically just showing you the gameplay. You can see I've got waves to worry about, baddies to worry about, and I've got 4 moves basically, so it plays a bit like your League Legends. You've leveled up, cool beans, I like leveling up. That blew them up, let us level up. We'll go with the explosion. A couple more waves left, so right now it's only probably, so I'm just going to stick with these 2 enemy types. I don't think it introduces anything too ambitious in the near future. I'm making it look easy because Alyssa is just the friggin' best. You can take on multiple enemies, no problem. Like, honestly, like, the difference between fighting 1 enemy versus fighting 3 enemies with her is fairly just academic. You can just go breathe, oh, you're frozen, and a poof! And you're all dead. And you're all dead. Oh, I took a little bit of damage. Oh, what a travesty. Whatever will I do, I shall just have to give up and die. But yeah, so you can basically hit them with 2 to deal, I don't know, maybe a little bit less damage than Jake, but still pretty good damage. Plus the follow-up with that V explosion is just bananas. This level's a little more engaging, so I will show it to you. Let us switch Warlocks, though. Let's go with
They
Rainer.
tell me it's a suicide mission.
Let's see if I can do it with Rainer. I don't know. I am no good as Rainer. I should show you the other things I can't show in the other mode. For example, the equipment. Last level we picked up a breastplate, which reduces our cooldown by 8. Which is good, because cooldown and attack speed are basically synonymous in this game, in addition to what you would think they mean. Oh no, it's a bug! And you didn't get me. And a poof! Poof! So that's what Rainer does. He just kind of zips around, whacking things with his stick, because he is that cool. Take that. This is the boring way to play, but it is effective. We leveled up again. Let us put ranks into Z. So that's actually one thing that's important to note is, oh, I didn't kill him. Is you level up across like your account essentially. So I don't just level up Alyssa or Rainer, I just level up all the guys. And so based off of how I put ranks, that's how it's going to be for all of them. No! I'm taking damage like a chump. Oh man. So I can't play Rainer. I need the life vamp shenanigans. Oh, did that get me? I don't even know. That got me. So if we die as Rainer, I will not be as surprised as I wish I could be. You're both dead. Nope. You're dead now. That's good. I just wish the cooldown... I think the cooldown on his Z needs to be a little lower to get this guy to work. Oh crap. Well, I got him, so that's good. Oh! So yeah, his Z will dash towards the nearest enemy, which can cause big problems because it makes it harder to choose who you're actually going to attack. And I'm just going to show you Jake's gameplay real quick, because I don't care for the other 2 overly much. And I explain why when I do the breakdown of them. Oh dear. That hurt. So, yeah. One of the reasons the early game, I felt like I will mention later on, past me will have mentioned later on, that I find this first level probably to be the hardest. And that's just, I think in large part, a little bit because it's getting used to the game, but gear is such an important part. Because by the end of the game, I had a set of items which had really good armor. If enemies hit me, they got lit on fire and took lots of damage. And, we're below thing, that's too bad. And, I was restoring like 12 HP per second. And I think my max HP was 500 at the time. So that's a pretty significant chunk of my max HP, just getting healed every second for no reason. Gosh dang it, flying is the worst. This is why Alyssa's so good, because I think she has the easiest time doing flyers. Isn't consistent enough. Doesn't do enough damage. Let's look at that. I hit him eventually. Let's bring down some fire, and you're gone. And we'll bring you guys down too. And more making it rain. I've been forgetting to use health potions this whole time. You know what make a difference? Using your friggin' health potions. It works, kids. And let's get the cuss out of here. Give me that sword. I want it. So one thing I also like about this game is just kind of how items work with generic stat things. So even though I'm a caster kid, I still benefit from using a sword because it increases my damage. Because technically all the classes are Warlocks. Ooh, shoes. I don't like having to manually pick up items. It'll manually pick up coins from quite a wide way away, and it will automatically pick up health potions, but it will not automatically pick up items. And you have 2 weapons, so right now I got +5 damage from the bullets, and 8 damage from the sword, which makes not a lick of sense, but it's still cool. Oh crap, you're right there, and you're dead. So as you can see, range is awesome. And then sometimes a chest will appear, which always has good, but not valuable loot. For some reason, this is the way it works. Ooh, the Gallivant armor. Is that the same I got last time? 20 armor, as opposed to 8 reduction cooldown. We're gonna go with the armor because Jake is squishy. But I'm going to cut the episode here, because this is, in the first world is pretty much what we saw in the Kickstarter demo. So, thanks so much for watching, and take it away past Foehamner with the class breakdown. So this is Raziel, the Fallen Angel. Raziel has a very slow melee attack, with alternates between 2 different hitbox types. She has a charging gun. I swear it's charging. Maybe it's not charging. I thought, maybe it charges faster than I'm used to. That's pretty cool, it pierces. Charge and dash attack, which is a little bit of damage. And finally, a cool leap attack. Or more like a plunging sword attack. Which may scale off of damage fallen. I'm not really sure. There's some sort of AoE as well. Experimentation will conclude what the effect of that actually is. I'm going to show you Lissy, the robot girl. She is probably my favorite from a fluff perspective and kind of a mechanical perspective. Her base speed's pretty slow, but her Z is a pretty fast firing gun. It may be the fastest attack in the game, but you will, if you look closely, notice underneath my health bar a white bar that fills up. That is a heat system, because her... I'm going to say, I'm going to be using QWERT, even though I'm actually using ZXCV. You can customize it however you want. But so her second attack is a flamethrower, and you can do that in tandem with her other move, but then it fills up and you can't cast spells for a bit. Her C is incredibly good. It's a jump with a damaging AoE that ends in a friggin' shield. It does build up a little bit of heat, but with a low cooldown, it means you can have some pretty fun times just launching yourself all over the place. And then her final move is a heal. Lizzie gets out. I can't show it to you because I can't take damage, but Lizzie will start repairing the droid. And it's not a super big heal, but it's like a hot for, I don't know, it seems like 10 seconds. It's a 10-second cooldown. At the levels I was testing it at, it was healing about 6 HP per second, which was in line with the healing over time items at that level. So you get her after unlocking, so I wasn't clear on that. You unlock Raziel by being the first boss, Lissy by the second boss, and the third boss is Shax, the
meet your doom.
Spirit Lord. so I actually have not gotten to play the game at all as Shax, so I don't know quite how he functions, because currently in early access there is a bug where if you try to continue story mode after having beaten the current story mode, the game just freezes. And then I had a new profile with an unplayed story mode, and then at first my unlocks had rolled over, but when I booted the game with any of the 3 unlocked characters, the game also froze. And then when I rebooted the game, they were no longer selectable in the new profile. So I can't really see what Shax does yet, but it looks like he has a fairly slow firing missile. I don't know if it has any on-hit effects, a slower firing, slightly bigger AoE, way shorter range thing that may have some stun associated with it. He can make a little ghosty goo, which will shoot with him, which is friggin' awesome. And then his Q pulls it back to him, or his final ability pulls it back to him, which may have some effect. I don't really know. If I pull it here, yeah, I don't know, maybe it heals or something. I don't know, but that's Shax. He seems pretty dang cool. His base speed and agility are pretty high, which I quite like. So those are the 3 unlockable characters. The other 5 characters you start unlocked. Borubar, the Bugbear Warrior, is the only one you haven't seen yet from my last Let's Play with the demo build. So he's a little slow, big hitboxes. His Q is faster than Raziel's, but just the overhead swing. He's got a shield which will stay raised as long as you raise it. You cannot move while the shield's raised. Then he has this, which is a little AoE, and then jumps him forward a little bit. The damage is on the spell cast, not on the spell land. And the final move is his little AoE, which fires pretty fast, so that's pretty cool. Unfortunately for both Bugbear Man and Raziel, because they are melee-centric casters, I've had a really hard time playing with them in the story mode, because their Qs... I mean, I don't care how fast your Q is, your character has to be really fast to be able to get in, hit, and get out before the hitbox of an attack hits you. And so with the melee characters, it becomes a lot more of a war of attrition. And they can kind of pull it off, because both Borubar and Raziel have pretty high base HP and armor, but compared to the ranged characters, like especially Anya and Jake, who are the 2 I went with for the majority of the game, who can just kite so friggin' well, it's really hard for those guys to cope, especially in the near the latter half of the first world, where there's quite a bit of flying enemies. I didn't even try them in the third world, where you have I'll show you what there's an enemy which is basically Jake.
Tucker.
Jake is, after Lissy, he might be my favorite character from a fluff perspective. So he's basically unchanged from the demo. His Q is a very fast firing fireball. He's got a flame shield. He's got this dash, and so this dash is what I'm telling you, there's an enemy in the third world which does that dash, and so but it lasts on the ground way longer, so it'll just fly over you and drop hellfire on you, and it's a pain in the butt, especially if you're a melee caster, I imagine. And his R, of course, is he moonwalks while raining down meteors. So Jake's pretty good because this lets you hit things pretty well, so he's got pretty good coverage if you can jump and fire, and then this lets you just get out of danger and deal damage. This I barely used at all because there's a lot of it doesn't block ranged projectiles, it doesn't block the suiciding and exploding enemies, and it doesn't block the enemies that charge at you through the flames. So I don't really use this that much, and I don't really use this that much because it's pretty inconsistent. But just these two, just Q and Z and C alone are pretty much enough to make him a very solid character. But like I said, I mained Anya for most of the game because she can just deal the best AoE. So it's really hard to outswarm her. I remember one level where I stayed. It's kind of level with more or less 2 tiers. So I was staying on the top platform because it spanned the whole level most of the game, taking care of all the flyers and all the waves. And then I looked down, I dropped 1 platform below the top level, and I saw on the ground level just the biggest clump of enemies I'd ever seen. Fortunately, they were all sharing the same hitbox space, so I was able to use my dash attack, which, it didn't show up here. Her dash attack, let's do it in the air, I can show you in the air. Her dash attack, it's not showing it, that's bonkers. Anyway, while Jake's leaves a trail of falling fire, Anya's will leave a trail of ice, and it will not fall. So you have to coast through enemies, or where enemies are going to be to do it, and that will apply her frost effect to enemies hit. All of Anya's moves, or her first 3 moves, this move, and the dash attack will apply a frost effect to enemies hit, and then her R attack will explode that frost for extra damage. So all I had to do was like breathe some frost, have an infinite number of enemies pass through it, and then blow them up. And it does a pretty good damage. And at the levels I was playing it at, it killed all of them, because it's kind of a swarm of weaker enemies for the level. And the thing I like about Anya as well is the triple shot. So that means, unless they're at close range, you're not going to get the full effect of the damage, but it means you can potentially freeze 3 enemies at once, and it makes it pretty dang nice to hit enemies that are not on the same level as you. With Jake, you kind of have to jump around a lot, and there's no chance you're going to hit an enemy on a lower level than you, so this gives you some more advantages. And then this too has a kind of an AoE, and it hangs out for a while. So Anya just has the most toolboxes, the best crowd control, so that's why I like her the best. Something I haven't mentioned with any of the characters so far is when you're playing story mode, you level up, and you choose a move to put a rank in. Each move has 4 ranks. When you put in the 5th rank, it kind of rolls over and gets upgraded a little bit. I haven't played enough just yet to know what all the upgrades for all the guys do. I know for Anya, her rank 4 thing shoots out 4 instead of 3 and has a better range. And her R, or her V, the little exploding AoE, it'll be an AoE. Instead of just exploding on the chilled enemies, it'll damage the chilled enemy and nearby enemies. I didn't see a difference with her dash at rank 5, but I think it might have given her faster attack speed, or lower cooldown rate. I didn't get this ranked up, so I don't know quite what that does. The last 2...
They tell me it's a suicide mission.
Is the coolest because he has a stick and a cool cloak. So I really like Raynor. In the demo, I was able to get Raynor to work because, if I recall, I had some pretty sweet vampire items. In my playthrough to unlock the other 3 characters, I was unable to get a similar build, so Raynor just really didn't work for me. His Q has some dash, and does really good damage, and it also applies a kind of like Anya's frost effect. So his C, which I can't even show you because I can't hit enemies right now, his C will teleport to them and deal massive damage, more damage than Anya's V will. This is a shield, which will sit on you, or you can pop it early to explode. And then he has this range attack, which is a little knockback and a decent cooldown. It's a lot like the bugbears, which is pretty cool. So I really like Raynor, but didn't get him to work. Couldn't get him to work. I really used Anya most of the time. Early game I used Jake a lot, because for some reason, I was having an easier time getting Jake to work than Anya, until I encountered too many flying enemies. I think it's just a level layout. And I tried Lissy, and Lissy worked pretty well in the 3rd world, because I had to unlock her after World 2, and she worked pretty well, but it wasn't... She also has trouble hitting flying enemies. So, I mean, really, flying enemies kind of control the game a little bit. That's why I went with Anya. I'll show you the last person, Kira, the Shamaness.
Now we're talking.
Which, again, like the last several you may remember, Kira's probably got the highest skill level to play well. Her Q is a very fast-firing little move. It does almost no damage. But if you see, she drops a totem and teleports back, and then her Q gets super powered by passing through that, and I believe it has a stun. Her X is a heal, which is pretty cool. The only character with a heal that can heal other players, and then her V turns her into a different character, which is why I said having her... She might have this highest skill cut, because you have to manage a lot of things. So this is a fast-firing dagger, which does more damage than the other person, than her other form's Q, but less damage. More damage than the default Q, but less damage than if it had passed through a totem, I believe. Actually, let's see what happens if we pass the Q through a totem. Nothing, that's what I thought. Okay. She has her X, which is like an AoE kind of poison effect, and then her C which will teleport to anybody with a poison effect on them. So both her daggers and her Z and her X will apply poison, and her C will finish the poison off. So that's 3 heroes which have some sort of mark the target, explode the target kind of effect. So that is the classes of Warlock. The gameplay is pretty much like the last episode I did, so you can check that out. The only difference is there are 3 worlds now, so there's how about 3? You can see 3, right? No, there's 3 worlds now, so you can... There's a greater variety of enemies, a greater variety of level types, which is actually important because World 2 has a lot of stage hazards in the form of fire and moving platforms. Oddly, I found the first world to be the hardest. That might just be because getting used to it, I was using Jake instead of Anya. And I think the second boss was the hardest. Second boss is also the coolest appearance-wise, because he's like an industry boss. Anyway, I'll work on getting those... I don't know, actually. If you wanted to see me fight the bosses, I'll have to replay the game to get to them, so leave a comment. I'm not adverse to doing the work of playing a video game. I just kind of want you guys to play this game for yourselves, because it's a pretty cool game. I'd like for there to be a good multiplayer community for it, so I don't want to spoil anything. Although, there's not... I mean, unlike a Dark Souls boss, these bosses aren't like, oh, you gotta study them and figure out how to beat them. This is more just kind of... You get hit a couple times, you figure out the tells, you know how to dodge it. You just spam attacks them until they fall. That's not to say they're easy, trivial, or boring, it's just to say they don't have as many layers as a Dark Souls boss, which is probably true for the vast majority of video game bosses out there. But, yeah, I just wanted to show you a quick look at a lot of the new stuff, so thanks so much for watching, and I will absolutely be showing you more once they add more content. If you want to see a full LP, I can do it, but it's a hack and slash game. It'll be a lot of me running around, kiting, and swearing when I get hit, because, oh, this is a little anecdote. In World 3, which is a jungle world, it has the most infuriating enemy. It's this big kind of tribal warrior type guy with a tentacle for an arm, and if you get too far from him, he'll throw a spear at you, and that spear tracks like a... I mean, it doesn't actually track you, but I swear it hit me several times when it shouldn't have hit me, and if it hits you, it slows you to the point of, for all intents and purposes, being immobile, and more importantly, it silences you. And this lasts for, what feels like an hour, but it's probably more like 5 seconds. That sounds about right. And he will teleport to you, and then wave his little spear around for a lot of damage. So, I died 13 times total fighting my way through story mode, and I'm sure probably close to 4 or 5 of those times were just because of that guy. Yeah, at least. That's pretty rough. And the other times will probably be to flying guys. So yeah, if you want to see some of that, I may post like a highlight reel type thing, but I don't intend to, unless you want to see more. But I bet you've gotten your fill of education, and you just want to go and experience it for yourself right now. So thanks so much for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next game. Goodbye.
Okay.